to the review of newspapers headlines in the country. On today's edition of the program, the papers are focusing on the death of 4 military officers in Galim in Bambutus division of the West region of Cameroon after an attack that was perpetrated on the military by the set group or armed militias who are operating in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. We are sorry for the late start, and let's go find out what the French newspapers have for their readers this morning. Bonjour Audrey.
Good morning, Lasha Kingsley.
Happy new month. It's the month of May.
Oui, merci. Good morning to you all. Bonjour à vous, fidèles téléspectateurs. Eh bien, débutons tout de suite avec Mutation qui renseigne de ce que, ou alors qui nous parle du conflit qui oppose le maire de la ville de Yaoundé, Luc Messi Atangna, à celui de la commune d'arrondissement de Yaoundé 7, Augustin Tamba. En effet, en date du 22 avril 2021, des vidéos et images présentant les agents de la communauté urbaine de Yaoundé en train de démolir des boutiques en construction au carrefour Colbison au 7e arrondissement de Yaoundé ont animé la toile. Notre confrère qui revient en détail sur cette actualité note contre les deux magistrats municipaux, la guerre est désormais ouverte. Poursuivons avec le Messager qui, dans ses colonnes, parle également du maire de la commune de Yaoundé 7, qui, par ailleurs, président de la commune et des villes unies au Cameroun, donne sa version des faits entre lui et le maire de la ville, qu'il dit ne pas être son chef au regard des dispositions de la loi en la matière. Le quotidien à capitaux publics Cameroun Tribune évalue les 100 premiers jours des patrons des exécutifs régionaux, un peu plus de 3 mois après leurs installations, ou alors leur installation, la mise en place et les premiers contacts avec des partenaires figurent au rang des actions déjà menées, alors que le budget ou les budgets et ressources financières restent très attendus. C'est ce qu'on peut lire dans le focus du journal livré en kiosque ce matin. Terminons donc avec cet autre journal, Essinga. 41 ans après la mort d'André-Marie Mbida, sa réhabilitation reste toujours bloquée. Formule Essinga à sa une ce matin selon le journal. Le premier chef d'État au Cameroun et premier ministre jeté en prison par le régime Ahidjo pour s'être opposé au parti unique est décédé le 2 mai 1980 à Paris, affaibli par la maladie. Les conditions carcérales et le bannissement de son bureau sont évoqués ce matin par notre confrère. Madame, messieurs, c'est tout pour les tabloïds en langue française ce matin. Place aux tabloïds en langue anglaise avec toi.
Merci, Audrey. Let's kick start with the Entrepreneur newspaper. The paper this morning is interested in the 2 billion franc CFA made available for the production of rice in Ngokitunja division. UNVDA, according to the paper, received 2 billion franc CFA from the government of Cameroon. And after the reception of that morning, Kitunja elites thanked President Paul Biya for the funds that have been made available for rice production or to revamp UNVDA. And the elites of Ngokitunja division, through the voice of the Cultural and Development Association President, Mr. Nganjo Mama Lamia, have thanked the President of the Republic of Cameroon, His Excellency President Paul Biya, for CFA 2 billion meant to revamp the rice or sole rice production company UNVDA in the northwest region of Cameroon. We continue with the Guardian Post newspaper, which took interest in the attack by the supposed Amber fighters on the military post in Galim in Bambutus division of the west region of Cameroon, killing 4 soldiers. And the attackers also cut away weapons, ammunitions, and the corpses of 4 of the Amber fighters found in battleground. More details of the incident or what actually transpired in Galim in Bambutus division of the west region of Cameroon only in this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. The Guardian Post equally took interest in attack on press freedom. Yaoundé Municipal Police torture, injured, detained journalists who went to cover a protest that was staged over the weekend by some motor taxi drivers in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. Let's leave the Guardian Post newspaper. The Media newspaper this morning is interested in the recent outing of Littoral SDF boss, Honorable Jean-Michel Ninche. According to the paper, Jean-Michel Ninche has argued that over centralization of power is an anachronism which breeds frustration amongst Cameroonians. He says the current centralized form of states is the reason for the many armed groups fighting the government of Cameroon. Ninche, Jean-Michel, who happens to be the Littoral Regional President, was speaking recently, and he thinks that federalism is a panacea for Cameroon's socio-political woes in the country. More details about Ninche's recent outing on page 3 of this edition of the Median newspaper. The Median equally took interest in the attack launched on a military base in Galim, in Bambutu's division of the West region of Cameroon. According to the paper, 4 soldiers are now known to have been killed as separatist fighters attack military post in Galim in the West region of the country, and also some of the fighters also lost their lives in the battle. Let's leave the Media newspaper and we end with the Horizon. The Horizon newspaper equally took interest in the attack over the weekend. According to the paper, another bloody weekend in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Separatists claim killing soldiers and civilians in Galim, the paper talks of Bamenda, rather Bambutus, in the west region of the country, and also more killings in Kumbu, Libialem, and the West Governor confirms loss of 4 soldiers in Galim, in Bambutus division of the west region of Cameroon. And let's stay with the Horizon newspaper to talk about the National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism. Members celebrate Labor Day, and they have hailed the chairman of their president, Peter Mafane Musonge, for his strike towards the promotion of bilingualism in the country. More details in this edition of the Horizon newspaper. Thank you, televiewers. We are back in the studio. We are meeting the special advisor to Professor Maurice Kamto, Evangelist Mutaga Sivanus, who is joining us this morning after his tour of some regions of the country to see what is happening in prisons. Audrey Zaxa.
Effectivement, Lacha Kingsley. Bonjour à vous, monsieur, une fois de plus.
Bonjour, Audrey. Happy Press Freedom Day to most of you who are in the studio today.
Thank you.
I want to thank God Almighty for His grace upon my life, because, like he rightly said, I had to visit some of the prisons in the nation where we have detainees of the Anglophone crisis. Talking of the Boya Central Prison, I was there. I was at the New Bay Central Prison, was at the Yaoundé Principal and the Central Prison, and lastly, I had to visit the inmates of the Bamenda Central Prison, where I donated some food items to them, and equally tried to inquire of their health situation.
So how is Bamenda? You are just coming back from Bamenda. How is the town?
In fact, Bamenda is relatively calm, because I spent almost 24 hours in Bamenda and I didn't get the gunshot that we used to hear while back here in the Little.
Was it over the weekend?
It was over the weekend.
At a time when a military base was being attacked in neighboring Ngokitunja, that's Ngokitunja division,
yeah.
Towards the west region of the country.
Honestly speaking, I love Bamenda. That was on Friday, yes, on Friday. And what I noticed was this: vehicles that used to leave by 9 p.m. do not longer leave by 9 p.m. They will have to quit Bamenda at exactly as from 5 p.m. because it seems as if immediately after 5 p.m., 6 p.m., they don't allow vehicles to leave other towns and enter into Bamenda, and they don't allow vehicles to leave Bamenda to other towns, especially the neighboring West region. So we're forced to leave Bamenda earlier than usual.
Just itchy to ask you this question. The attack led to the death, the attack at Galim in Bambutu's division. The West Regional Governor has confirmed with the SDO for Bambutus, Etapa Franklin. They have confirmed that 4 soldiers were killed and some ammunition seized from the soldiers who were at that military base. What do you make of this attack?
The very first thing, Mr. Lashan Kingsley, what I make of it is that there seems to be some better Cameroonians than others, more important Cameroonians and less important Cameroonians. Because here, the exact number of military soldiers that have been killed has been specified, whereas the number of separatists who have been killed have not been specified, as well as the number of civilians who have been hurt. So we are talking of a war in which we've been asking the government in place that they should put an end to it. They should call for a national front.
But that was an offensive, eh? That was an offensive. Over 30 armed men stormed that gendarmerie post, that military post.
Yes, I simply said I don't think they are better Cameroonians who are more important than others. I think we would not have been talking of the war at this particular juncture. I want to think that the military men in place who are in the northwest region and the southwest region, those who are even at the borders, they are also tired, because if the military were the kind of military that we used to have, I don't think any kind of people would just attack them, take them on surprise.
We're talking about a military base.
Yes, I understand.
Serious weapons were taken away.
Yes, I understand what I'm saying. You find that at a certain moment, following the speech of Minister Tanganji, who said the situation in the northwest and southwest region is almost coming down, you can find that there could have been some calm. It could be a tactic from the separatists, maybe to stoop low for a while, and then people think that the whole thing is coming down, and then suddenly, while the military are already jubilating that they have won the war, and when they were in their slumbers, you find that the separatists came and they took them unaware. So it's a wake-up call for the military to be more vigilant at this particular juncture, because you understand that many civilians are not willing to collaborate with the military simply because they receive a lot of threats. You can imagine what happened in the southwest region. We found it, that was in 2020. A lady was beheaded just simply because they suspected that she was
that's a crisis meeting that was held by the Bambutus SDU shortly after the attack. Right on, Sir Motaga.
Yes, like you just said, I think the crisis meeting is very important. But the most important crisis meeting that we should be talking of is ceasefire. I don't know how they would be holding a crisis. It's just like there is a tap that is flowing, and people are organizing meetings on how to wipe or to dry clean the water, whereas the best thing to do is to close that tap. Closing the tap is calling for ceasefire, releasing the political detainees of the Anglophone crisis, because I consider them as political detainees. We don't consider it as war that is going on, though it is an armed conflict. But these guys, they have they have convictions. They are people with convictions. They are opinion makers. They think that the way the present Cameroon is being run, that the system of government in place is not the best.
Haven't we killed enough of our brothers and sisters?
We have killed enough.
Is it not time for us to have a second thought that probably, can we not stop this thing now and try to find a way out?
Mr. Lashan Kisi, when we talk of can we, you and I have no powers to stop this crisis. He that pays the piper dictates the tune. Mr. Biya, who sends soldiers to the northwest and southwest region, know how he can call them back to the barrack. Ayub Tabe, who is the leader of the Republic of Ambazonia, knows exactly how he can call his boys back to the barrack.
Unfortunately, his lawyer was shot in Boya by separatists recently. Barrister Lenjo Alice, if I got the name correctly.
It is regrettable.
Shot.
It is regrettable
The
that
very separatist shooting at the lawyer of Barrister Ayuk Tabe or Sisuku Ayuk Tabe. Is that not funny?
if at all he were carrying on a dress written the lawyer of Ayuk Sisuku,
He's been accused of having leaked information to the military. How is that possible?
I don't buy the idea that the military would kill anyone or that the separatists would kill anyone. I said what we want at this particular juncture is ceasefire and an end to that useless war that is going on in the northwest and southwest region. So whosoever that is killed at this particular juncture, I think that is just a collateral victim of the war that is going on.
Okay, Audrey.
Alors, monsieur, parlons un petit peu d'autre chose. Vous avez renseigné tout à l'heure avoir été dans différentes prisons pour, n'est-ce pas, rendre visite aux prisonniers qui ont été arrêtés en connexion avec la crise anglophone. Mais en ce jour même où on parle de liberté de la presse, il faut renseigner qu'il y a également des journalistes qui sont encore incarcérés dans les prisons et apparemment rien n'est fait pour que leur situation puisse être changée. Récemment encore on parlait d'un collègue qui a été un collègue d'une autre maison qui a été n'est-ce pas brutalisé par les forces de l'ordre. Que faut-il réellement faire? C'est vrai que vous n'êtes pas un journaliste, mais d'un œil extérieur, qu'est-ce que vous pensez par rapport à la maltraitance des journalistes au Cameroun? Et qu'est-ce qu'il faut réellement faire pour que cela puisse...
Audrey, la première chose que je demande, à chaque moment qu'un journaliste est arrêté, qu'est-ce que les autres journalistes font pour sa libération? Nous avons vu plusieurs fois, les avocats sont trop, je veux dire, ils sont solidaires, plus que les journalistes. Parce que, vous voyez, nous sommes dans un pays où le métier de journaliste n'est pas bien rémunéré. Le régime en place a pratiquement réduit les journalistes à une position de mendiant. Je m'excuse de ce que je dis, mais c'est juste la vérité.
C'est sa opinion.
Oui, on doit leur donner un peu, pas de leur bien payer, juste parce qu'on veut les tenir en otage à chaque moment pour leur donner les petits sous, pour écrire les articles qui dénigrent les vrais activistes qui œuvrent pour la liberté d'expression dans notre pays. Voilà le problème actuel sur le journaliste lui-même. Parce que certains journalistes...
That's a generalized one, not all the journalists.
Oui, j'ai dit c'est le journaliste, je n'ai pas dit c'est les journalistes. C'est le journaliste. Quand je dis le journaliste, j'indexe ceux qui ne travaillent pas pour le bien commun de leur corps professionnel. Bon, je reviens. Nous ne sommes pas dans un état de droit. Parce que je dis souvent, si vous voulez voir qu'un pays est un pays de la dictature, la première des choses, c'est qu'on manipule les journalistes. On ne laisse pas les journalistes exprimer ou fonctionner tel qu'il le faut. Parce que s'il n'y a pas une presse qui est libre pour dénoncer tous les maux qui se passent dans un pays, vous voyez que non, le régime va continuer à travailler comme tu veux. Ils vont violer les droits les plus communs, les droits les plus fondamentaux des citoyens et sans que personne ne ose les dénoncer. Bon, je reviens. Ce que nous devons faire pour que le droit ou les droits des journalistes soient respectés dans ce pays, c'est de mieux collaborer avec des hommes de bonne volonté, les ONG, qui sont prêts à vous défendre. Et vous, les journalistes, vous devez les valoriser et rester. Parce qu'on ne peut pas préparer les omelettes sans casser les œufs. Ce n'est pas parce que, je dis bien souvent, on ne peut pas avoir de l'argent, mais on a notre intégrité. On ne devait pas venir vous manipuler avec de l'argent pour écrire de n'importe quoi. J'ai vu en 2018, 2019, 2020, des journalistes de chaînes de télévision qui ont titré les choses bizarres, même sur leurs compatriotes, sur leurs collègues. Je parle le cas de Wazizi. Il y a des presses qui ont titré, je ne veux pas citer le nom parce que...
That's mostly, without being sentimental, that's mostly the French press. We read that in the French newspapers, mostly.
Voilà ce que lui dit, c'est tout à fait normal.
But no, you're moving away from the point. We are talking about what should be done to ensure that journalists' rights are protected in the country?
The
You're
first-
instead indexing the journalists for not
I
standing
have
up.
to start first of all.
Okay.
The first thing, je dis bien,
1 minute, we
oui,
are
ce
running
qu'ils
out of
devraient
time.
faire, les journalistes eux-mêmes, ils devraient constituer le syndicat, un syndicat fort qui est prêt à porter leurs doléances devant les autorités. Parce que quand il y a un syndicat qui peut défendre le métier de journaliste, vous voyez qu'à ce moment, si imaginez-vous que les journalistes boycottent les presses écrites, n'écrivent pas, même pendant une semaine, parce que l'un de leurs est arrêté. Vous savez ce qui va se passer.
We had that, Sir Mataga Silvanus. Thank you very much for coming. Sorry, we have to end this way and end here at this particular moment. Thank you so much, televiewers, for watching. We've come to the end of today's edition of the program, which was, of course, produced by Christian Tebon. And for presentation, we've been Audrey Zaksa and myself, Lasha Kingsley. Bye-bye. Tomorrow is another day.